What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're covering a very important topic. And what we're going to be chatting about is how to avoid holiday weight gain. The thing is, right, we just left Thanksgiving. A lot of people over this time, they end up actually gaining a few pounds over the course of all the festivities, the dinners, seeing people, alcohol, and everything. And it's really easy to come off of that and let it slide all the way through Christmas, all the way through the new year. And next thing you know, you have to have a resolution on January 1st because you just gained back all the weight that you spent all year working on losing. So the goal for everybody watching this holiday season is to minimize that damage as much as possible. And in this video, I'm going to share with you guys my top 5 ways, my personal top 5 ways, the things that I actually do in order to make sure any damage that I do to my body is as minimal as possible, all while still being able to enjoy myself, have fun with my friends and family, and not completely stress myself out. It's all about balance. And in this video, I'm going to teach you guys exactly how we do that. So without further ado, let's get this started. One of the first things that I lean on, my go-tos when the holidays are around the corner and I know I got some stuff coming up, the first thing I'm going to implement before everything else is I'm going to do some fasting around some of these meals and some of these holidays. If you're not familiar with fasting, I'll just break it down like this in the simplest way possible. Essentially, if you're used to waking up in the morning, you have a breakfast and then you're eating a lunch and then you're eating a dinner, there might be a snack in there. When you're fasting, that's not how it works. You're going to wake up in the morning, you're going to skip breakfast, and you're going to find a time throughout the day that you're actually going to eat. When it comes to the holidays for me, I switch over to OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. Doing this is going to provide multiple benefits. For one, let's say your total daily energy expenditure, or the amount of calories you need a day, is by example around 2,500. If you don't eat anything all day and then it comes time for that dinner, as long as you aren't eating just the entire cake that's at this party, it's going to be very hard to do any significant damage and to push those calories that much further over your total daily energy expenditure. At the end of the day, I always preach this, but it's not about the foods you're eating. It's not the fact that like white bread's going to make you gain weight and chicken breast won't. It's all about, at the end of the day, the amount of calories that you've consumed. And for me personally, I love doing this around the holidays because it lets me go into that dinner, and if I want a cookie or a little dessert at the end, I'm not that worried about it. If I want to have a couple big plates of Thanksgiving dinner, I'm not that worried about it. That's personally what I did this past Thanksgiving, and it worked like a charm. Barely noticed anything happening. Now, if you wake up in the morning on a holiday and you just in your head, you're like, this is a holiday, and we're going to start by getting donuts, and then we're going to maybe get McDonald's on the way to Thanksgiving, then we're going to eat that dinner, and then you might throw some alcohol on top of that. That can easily turn into a 5, 6, 7,000 calorie day if you are not careful. And let's say you are doing the type of holiday where maybe you're staying with family, so you know that Thursday you got Thanksgiving, maybe you're there Friday, you leave Saturday, you got multiple days in a row. When I'm doing this, I would just do OMAD every single one of those days. That might sound kind of tricky, but when you have a massive dinner, you're gonna wake up in the morning still full, and it's gonna take you all day to kind of burn that food off. Your body gets used to it so quick. When I talk about fasting, you get a lot of people that are like, I could never do that. I can never go that long without eating. And I'm telling you, it is so freaking easy to do. It is not hard. One of the easiest things you can do is to just simply not eat, skip it. You're gonna get hungry in the morning for like 10 or 15 minutes, then it goes away. Then you have all this energy, you feel incredible. You're moving quicker, you're burning more calories because you have more energy. There's so many benefits to it. And seriously, if you wanna live a little during the holidays without standing in the corner eating celery sticks, then this is a great option in my opinion, and it's something I do all the time. And then the second thing that I do combined with fasting around the holidays and these big events is I make sure I'm burning as many extra calories as I possibly can. I basically spent my Thanksgiving in Key West. I flew down Thursday morning and left Sunday evening. That entire time, I was eating big dinners, we were drinking a lot of alcohol, I was going to bed a little later, waking up a little bit later, but one thing I made sure I did was first thing, when I woke up in the morning, I walked down to that little gym, put my headphones on, hopped on that treadmill, set an incline up, and made sure that I did my regular 40 minutes of cardio. But as long as my girlfriend wasn't trying to get me to speed up too much, I would throw in an extra 10, an extra 15, an extra 20, and on top of that, we did a ton of walking. This is, I think, the first vacation I've ever went on where literally I feel like I came back in about the exact same shape or even a little bit leaner than I left, which is a testament to just making sure you are burning more calories. A lot of people, when these holidays come, they just forego the cardio that they were doing. They quit going on the walks. They're out of their schedule, but you can easily add little things in, and I recommend just do it first thing in the morning when you wake up. You can add those extra calories to your cardio bank. The more calories you burn, the more you can technically eat without doing as much damage. For me, sticking to my cardio routine and throwing a little extra on top of it goes a really long way when it comes to making sure everything's on point. So we've talked about fasting, we've talked about the cardio portion of it, but what about the actual nutrition? Obviously, we shouldn't just get the whole cake and sit there and eat that, but we also just don't want to have 2,000 calories of an OMAD plate of chicken, rice, and broccoli. And what I normally tell people is to not overthink this entire process, make it fun, make it enjoyable, but also a little bit of strategy can go a long way. And I always recommend prioritizing the protein that you are having at any of those meals. So if we use a traditional Thanksgiving meal meal, for example. You got a turkey, you might have some mashed potatoes, some noodles, some rolls with butter, things like that. So when I'm building my Thanksgiving meal, I'm looking at that turkey and I'm getting as much of that turkey as I can. I want at least half of my plate to be that turkey because I know I'm gonna be getting a ton of protein and it's really going to fill me up. The other half, I'm just gonna have whatever I want, but I really wanna make sure I'm eating as much meat as I possibly can because not only is that good for filling me up, but the more protein I have, the better it is for this whole bodybuilding thing that we do. And then only after you eat all of that, you're probably gonna be pretty full. Then you can move into the sweets if you want a little something extra. I'm not gonna tell anybody they're not allowed to have a few cookies. I always have a few cookies, but I'm prioritizing my protein first. I'm never breaking a fast with a donut. I'm always going into it. My first meal is gonna be so heavy in protein, it's literally kind of comical. So I was just in Key West, and the first night that we were there, my Thanksgiving dinner actually ended up being 2 quesadillas, but I told him I wanted double chicken in each of the quesadillas, and I wanted extra chicken on the side, and I ordered a grilled chicken sandwich. I had fries on the side, and then I got 3 fish tacos. That was my OMAD meal for the day. If you added all that up, that might have been right around 2,000 calories. I had alcohol on top of that. I probably finished that day right at around 3,000 calories, which is what I estimate my total daily energy expenditure is. And that's just one example. I do the exact same thing when I have friends coming into town and we're treating them for dinners. I do the same thing if I'm fasting all day and I'm having a meal by myself at the house. And literally my whole channel is built around the anabolic high protein diet. I personally believe the more protein that you eat in a day, the more luck you're gonna have with all of these processes. And don't forget, if you want the ultimate anabolic high protein recipe book right in your pocket, it is available at the first link in my description. This is literally my day-to-day outside of the holidays diet strategy. And I swear if you follow what's in this book, it works. It's the best dang, most sustainable diet you'll ever do. Link in description. You get it once, you get every future recipe I have for free. So yeah, in summary, break your fast with a good amount of protein. Make sure you get that out of the way first. It's gonna fill you up. You're gonna feel better. You're gonna hit those minimum protein goals. And then after that, if you wanna have a little fun, I ain't gonna be mad at you. Now, the fourth thing that I always do, whether I'm traveling for holidays, whether I'm going somewhere I'm not necessarily familiar with for a little bit, I'm gonna be in a new area, I know that things are gonna be a little shaky, I'm not in my element, I'm not in my zone. What I always do is plan ahead. There's an old saying, if you fail to prepare, you are just preparing to fail. And that is honestly one of the most true things I've come to find out in this life. Anytime in the past when I went into the holidays blind, I didn't have a plan, I didn't have my fasting protocol in place, I didn't have a gym that I was set to go to, and I end up at a pizza joint instead of a place where I can actually get some high protein food. Those are the vacations and the holidays I always came back from out of shape, bloated, up 5-10 pounds, feeling overall miserable. And as much as that was fun, like the depression when you get back knowing how crazy everything is and you gotta work that much harder to burn it off, simply ain't worth it. It literally takes 5 minutes or probably even less to Google a restaurant on your phone and look at the menu before you go. That way you already know what you're gonna get and you don't do that thing that I've done a million times where you roll up, you might have missed something in a corner and you end up just ordering terrible because you didn't think it through and you made an impulse decision. And if you're someone that's literally not going to cheat over the holidays, you're gonna stay completely on point, which I have done for a few in the past, simply, like I said, packing up a cooler, putting some of the recipes on this channel or out of my cookbook in there with some ice packs and eating out of there, you can literally stay on track so easy that way. And one final example of planning ahead is before I left for Key West, the Wednesday before, I did an all-day fast. I ate nothing, just drank water, and I did that in order to make sure I had all those extra calories sitting in the bank for the duration of the entire weekend. At the end of the day, it's all about calorie balance. So if you can plan ahead and make the right choices and the right decisions, you can literally build up a massive calorie bank. And with that in there, what I call this calorie bank is your fun bucket. The more calories you have in here, the more fun you can have. That's the way I try to phrase it to people. And I hope when I say that, it makes sense. So far in this video, I've covered fasting, burning extra calories, prioritizing the protein in your diet, and planning ahead to make sure all of these things are working together the best that they can. And now the final tip is a little two-parter, but I feel like I can't say one without saying the other. So the first part is that regardless of what's happening through all of these holidays, we just came off Thanksgiving, we got a little bit of a run up until Christmas. We have New Year's right around the corner. The last thing you wanna do is drop your routine. We get in these routines that we follow. We're waking up, we're hitting the gym, we're going after work, we're consistent, we're going multiple days a week. Those are all extra calories that we're burning. It's really good for us to do that. And the last thing we wanna do is just because we're in these latter months of the year or just because it's a holiday week, we don't wanna make those excuses and drop our routine. I'm not saying you have to work out 7 days a week, do daily cardio. You don't have to do anything like that. But at the very least, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop working out during these months. Don't stop going on those runs, doing those cardio sessions, and don't stop the diet. Stick to what you've been doing as much as you possibly can, and you're gonna be way better for it. As soon as you drop all that stuff, your total daily energy expenditure will start going down. Your ability to retain muscle without eating a high protein diet and without hitting weights is going to go down. So not only will you potentially gain gain weight, you might lose a little muscle too, and no one wants to do that. The more muscle you have, the more calories you're gonna burn in general just by existing. So stick to your routine as much as you possibly can. And then the second part of this tip, and one thing I wanna hammer home, is that don't feel too guilty about having a little bit of fun on any of these big days. So at the end of the day, we all only live once. You have one shot at this thing. And the last thing I'm gonna do is take some of these key moments where I'm with my family, I'm with my friends, I'm with my girlfriend, and I'm not going to enjoy myself and indulge a little bit and create some good memories. Instead, I'm gonna remember that Christmas is the one where I stood in a corner and counted calories and gave everybody that ate cookies a mean look. There is no way, man. I preach balance. Work hard as often as you can so you can play a little harder later. Because I'm gonna level with you. In my personal experience, nothing makes this whole entire lifestyle and process any harder than when you beat yourself up and you feel guilty about having a good time. This is why I practice everything in this video I've told you about around all these holidays and these crucial months, is because I know when I do all that, I'm not going to experience that guilt, or at least it's so minimized because of everything else I've done that I really feel like I've done all that I can do. So guys, with all of the tips we've covered, I'm telling you, even if you just use 1 out of the 5, it can make a world of difference on making sure we minimize any negative damage we're gonna do over these holidays. Whether you simply do a little extra cardio, whether you start implementing the fasting, whether you're just planning ahead a little bit and trying to make better choices, any one of those things is going to make a difference. But when you throw all of them together, for me, it's literally the complete package, the game changer. And for those of you that are still a little iffy about fasting, I promise you, give it a shot. It could really be a game changer for you. And I mean that because for me, it's literally one of my best tools that I utilize. And there we have it, folks. That is my top 5 ways that I personally utilize to avoid holiday weight gain. If you have any questions about any of them down below, leave those comments. If you have any strategies that I missed, let me know. And finally, I'm gonna give you guys a big thank you for all the support we had on the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. By far the best month we have ever had in business as a company. We are now in December. We're running a little low on certain pieces of inventories. If you're wanting to get Christmas gifts, you wanna give someone the gift of the best tasting protein bar on this planet, the Anabar, then you might wanna order now. That way everything is all good and we're not sold out right before Christmas. So finalbossperformance.com, my code RGF10 will save you 10%. I'm telling you, if you give someone a box of Anabars for Christmas, they're gonna love you forever. I guarantee it. All right, guys, smash that thumbs up button, comment anything down below. Subscribe if you are not subscribed. If you have certain video ideas you wanna see me do, leave them in the comments. And yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. Hopefully you guys have some good holidays. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I will see each and every one of you at the next video. See you guys. Boom, 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 baby.